Hello everyone, my name is Chamayan and I'm from Group 3. Today, my group member and I will present quality control in identifying problem and proposing solution in Teknik Sentian Berhad. Next, I will present about introduction. Kaoru Ishikawa introduced that the 7 basic quality tools are also called 7 QC tools, which are very effective in the quality management and quality assurance process. The 7 QC tools are simple statistical tools used to solve problems. The 7 QC tools used to process map, control chart, check sheet, histogram, scatter plot, cause and effect diagram, and Pareto Analysis. These modern quality tools are called new 7 quality control tools, such as Affinity Diagram, Interrelationship Diagram, Tree Diagram, Matrix Diagram, Prioritization Matrix, Process Decision Program Chart, and Activity Network Diagram. The OQC tools. First, Process Map, a planning and management tool that can intuitively describe Teknik Sentian Berhad work process. Process Map provide insight into the process, can help the team brainstorm to improve the process, increase communication, and provide process documentation. Next, Check Sheet. Checklist is a structured process that helps collect and analyze data. It is an effective tool that can be used for multiple purposes. Next, histogram. Bar chart that depict the pattern of distribution of observation, which are grouped by comfortable class interval and placed in order to magnitude. The histogram can be used to investigate the distribution pattern and make conclusions about the process from it. Next, scatter plot. It entails drawing a series of points on the graph that represent multiple observations, with one variable on the x-axis and the other variable on the y-axis. Next, control chart. Used to determine if a process will make a product or process with consistent measurable attributes, allowing us to quickly identify factors that could cause changes or defects. Next, cause and effect diagram. Fishbone diagram help Teknik Sentian Berhad determine the variable factors that contribute to the impact and are usually described as problems that need to be resolved. Fishbone diagram cause and sub-cause are typically divided into 6 categories: measurement, material, worker, ecosystem, matter, and machine. Last but not least, Pareto Analysis. A quality control tool is underscored by the fact that the Pareto chart follows the 80-20 rules. The rule assumes that in any process, 20% of the main factor, also known as a few key factors, are responsible for 80% of the process or system problem. Next, the new 7 QC tools. First, Affinity Diagram. It provides an opportunity in Teknik Sentian Berhad to generate a lot of ideas for a problem. Team members brainstorm ideas to collect as much problem solving as possible and post this idea on the blackboard so that all members can see. Next, Interrelationship Diagram. We'll go over each issue one by one to see how it affects the other. Make a connection between the idea by drawing an arrow. Consider the concept of an arrow short being the cause and the concept of an arrow short being the effect. Next, tree diagram. Achieving the goal by first simply putting the target in the sim box on the far left of the paper, then trying to think up the option and strategy to accomplish the target and applying them horizontally in the 3 different boxes in the scene box at the next level. Number 4. Matrix diagram. Used to estimate the relationship between the 2 sets of concepts. Number 5. Prioritization matrix. Is the tool makes use of a variety of tree and matrix graph to prioritize issues based on weighting criteria. Next, Process Decision Program Chart. Used to predict possible failure in the process of program delivery, such as meeting, project demonstration, and so on. So, it to avoid failure and prepare some countermeasure accordingly. Last, Activity Network Diagram. It assists in the efficient scheduling of project. Project management is the score of the tool. All of the tasks are written on the board and completed in order. Each task completion time is listed underneath it. Next, the objective of Teknik Sentian Berhad. Number 1. To identify the main problem. Number 2, to determine the main causes of the problems. Number 3, to propose the recommended solution. And the last one, to evaluate priority of the solution.
Hi, my name is Oqc. Now I will present about the background of studying. Bentley Syarikat Industri Sendirian Berhad is a family business specializing of furniture processing. The company was formed by 4 brothers and sisters. The company mission is to process and produce furniture products that are convenient for life, practical and durable for customer. Whatever there is an order, Bentley company will process and produce according to order. In 2005, the company originally set up a factory in Kapal, Selangor. Its main production tool is using the machine. The main product of Bentley company is wood furniture, mainly made of wood. All the company products are made by solid wood, which not only guarantees the quality for the furniture, but it is also durable and not easily damaged. The furniture they produce has television cabinet, wardrobe, bedroom, table and chair. Through our interview, we got a product picture of a coffee table. That's all for me. Thank you.
Greetings to all of you. I am Wan Kahe. I'm coming from Group 3. I will present about our group data collection. Basically, data collection is a tool that we use to collect and analyzing the data on the term of our research. On our Group 3, we are using 2 of the tools of data collection, which is qualitative and quantitative. In the part on the qualitative, our Group 3 had an interview with manager Bentley Industri Sendirian Berhad by using method to Google Meet. Research Group 3 posed a series of related questions about problem and solution for this study. On the other hand, on quantitative part, our Group 3 utilizing feedback Google form to learn more about Bentley Industri Syarikat Berhad problem is having. At last, we using the analysis data by 7QC tools to assist the study and research analyzing data from the interview Bentley Sendirian Berhad using 7QC technician and 7 new quality tools. This is all about my presentation. I will pass my mic to my partner to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is JINA. Now I'm going to present about the result. First, to understand the process flow, we can use process flow chart. Start. Next is preparing the raw materials such as timber. Second step is, does the timber cut and modeling perfectly? If yes, we can just go to component fabrication. Then we can go to assembly operation. Last step is finishing and packing. If the timber is not been cutting and modeling perfectly, we need to go back to the step is timber cutting and modeling. After that, we can go to the next step is component fabrication, assembly operation. Lastly is finishing packing. Next, to identify the main problems, we can use the Pareto diagram. The company found 5 main problems in their production and manufacturing line, which are workplace condition, inconsistent quality, inefficiency of worker, lack of machine maintenance, and the last one is unexpected incident. We have collected the feedback from their employees. The most critical problem that occurs during the production and manufacturing of Bentley Sendirian Berhad is inefficiency of workers, which stand for 96.04% or 12.5 respondents from the overall of the 48 respondents. This shows that inefficiency of workers is the main problem. We want to identify the causes of the problem. The Affinity Diagram shows the classification of the large number of issues into the 5 groups, which are workplace, worker, machine, materials, and metals. Affinity Diagram is similar to the cause and effect diagram that usually categorize the causes of the problem into the related subgroup. Based on the Affinity Diagram, the company identified causes into 5 categories. For the worker category, there are several issues that contributed to the inefficiency of workers' problems, such as worker lack of proper on-job training, lack of experience in operating the machine, high turnover that lead to the employee shortage, and the fault. Other than that, the poor attitude and behavior such as lack of safety awareness and poor punctuality also cause the poor attitude and behavior of workers. For the machine category, inefficiency of workers often due to the improper machine layout, insufficient machine, lack of maintenance, and low machine cleanliness. Next, come to the material category. The raw material is high cost. Inconsistent quality will influence the quality of products. Next is fluctuating of market price. Lastly is a sensitive inventory. Come to the metal category. There is no standard operating procedure as known as SOP. Semi-automated process. Next is frequent changing process. And lastly is no personnel protective equipment provided. From these 4 of the problem of metals, this can cause the low productivity. Lastly, come to the workplace. The workplace is messy, improper machine layout, poor lighting, and lack of hygiene. Lastly, the poor lighting and ventilation, a messy small workplace, also contributed to the impact on the production and manufacturing of the furniture in Bentley, Sdn Bhd. Based on the Ishikawa diagram result as shown in the figure 5.3.1, researchers found out that the main effect from the various causes. Researchers realized that the effect of low productivity is mainly caused by 5 major classifications of causes, which are workers, machine, workplace, metal, and materials. From the view of worker, researchers noticed that lack of employees, lack of experienced personality, and behavior of employee cause inefficiency of worker. Next, lack of maintenance, insufficient machine, and improper machine layout are the sources of low productivity. Workplace in the condition of narrow and small, messy, and unclean, as well as the poor ventilation and lighting will result in low productivity also. There are some metals in the production of furniture that influence low productivity. The metals are a semi-automated process, frequently changing process, and no standard operating procedure being implemented in the process. Last but not least, the main cause is the material used in the production. Some of the problems in materials affect low productivity are the high cost of raw materials, inconsistent quality of material, and insensitive inventory. Based on the information, researchers must continue to find out the most critical causes that result from the different types of major causes. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Kim. Today I will going to explain the relationship diagram. The use of the relationship diagram is to identify the main cause of the problem. From this diagram, we can see that the 4 main causes that affect the product productivity is the lack of experience, lack of training, lack of maintenance, and no standard operation procedure (SOP). The most important source of the problem is shown by the highest outgoing error. From this diagram, we can see that Bentley Sdn Bhd, the problem for that has encountered is the lack of training, and it shows a total of 9 outgoing errors, which is the highest among the 13 issues that stated with 3 incoming errors. Okay, next to propose the recommended solution, we will use the tree diagram. The head problem in the tree diagram is the fact of the product productivity. There are 4 major causes linked to the effect of product productivity, which is lack of training, lack of experience, no standard operation procedure implemented, and lack of maintenance. The solution for the lack of training is to improve the soft skill training, mentorship program, and hire talented workers. Next, for the lack of experience, we propose to train the existing employees to revamp to evaluate the recruiting practices, nearby application creativity, and make use of contingent workers. For the no standard operation procedure SOP implemented, we can use benchmarking, ensure the purpose of the SOP is understood, and keeping the SOPs up to date. Lastly, to solve the problem for the lack of maintenance, we can construct the maintenance plan, bring in the proper leader, and create a plan backlog. Next, to evaluate solution, we will use the matrix diagram. On the matrix diagram, we set criteria that will be put in the consideration for evaluating proposed solution. Lower costs, cost reduction, shorter time, priority, competency of operator are the criteria. To deploy 3-stage range based on the 14 solution with the 4 main costs as mentioned. The black circle with 6 diagram for its significant impact. The white circle has a median impact with 5 points, and whereas the triangle has a lowest impact of only 1 point. The solution option of ensure the purpose of SOP is understood recorded the highest ranking on the overall 14 solution option, which is 182. This issue must be solved in the company in order to achieve a major improvement in their process.
Hello everyone, my name is Woon. Today I will talking about the part of discussion. So in the discussion part, we have the 7 quality tool used in this study. So the first one is the process flow diagram, second one is the Pareto chart, the third one is Affinity Diagram, 4 is Ishikawa diagram, the 5 is relationship diagram, 6 is tree diagram, and the last one is matrix diagram. So for the first one, process flow chart diagram, it will accelerate the flow of process from the preparation of raw material such as wood through the finishing and packing of the furniture at the end of the production and manufacturing process. And for the second Pareto chart, it was indefinitely difficult. So the most serious issue in the Bentley sedian berhad is the worker inefficiency. Next, for the Affinity Diagram, it has classification of a vast number of issues into the 5 groups, which is the workplace, worker, machine, material, and the technical. And in the interrelationship diagram, it has the key factor creating the productivity issue, which is the lack of training. So to solve the lack of training, the company must strengthen soft skill training and give the mentorship program. And in Ishikawa diagram, it has the 4 primary reasons, which is the interconnected training, insufficient experience, insufficient the maintenance, and the lack of standard operating procedure. So in tree diagram, it also has the 4 key factors affects the product and productivity, which is the lack of training, lack of apprentices, lack of the standard operating procedure, and lack of maintenance. And the last one, matrix diagram, it was to analyze the proposal solution. So have the 5 priority reminders has been identified, which is the assuring the proposal of the SOP is understood, re-evaluating the requirement practice, benchmarking, training the worker on the value and process around the SOP, and last one is training the exciting employee. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sim Jia Hong, metric number AP200139. Today I will continue present about the conclusion. The quality control tools are the fundamental instrument to improve the process and product quality in the manufacturing process. The QC tools are the important tools used wisely in continuous process improvement. First, the process flowchart diagram to examine the furniture manufacturing process aspect at Bentley Industries India Berhad. The tree diagram to build the best solutions for all of Bentley Industries India Berhad's concerns and problems. The key issue in tree diagram is the influence products produced. The four key factors is influence of product and productivity is lack of training, lack of expertise, lack of standard operation procedure, and lack of maintenance. The Ishikawa diagram, Affinity Diagram, and a relationship diagram to determine the cost of Bentley Industries India Berhad toward productivity problems. The metric diagram to analyze the proposed solutions. Based on the metric diagram evaluation, the 5 priority parameters have been identified, which is ensuring the purpose of SOP is understood, re-evaluating recruitment practices, benchmarking, training workers on value and processes around the SOP, and training existing employees. Thus, Bentley has used the lean manufacturing continuous improvement to identify and reduce the non-value added tasks and use the pull methods to meet the customer needs. In conclusion, we are used the Pareto chart, tree diagram, affinity diagram, process flow diagram, Ishikawa diagram, relationship diagram, and also the metric diagram to solve all the problems that we recommend to the Bentley and Berhad. That's all from me. Thank you.